गोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपीयूष सर्ववेदैकसत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्प्रद। Last week we completed with the 37th shloka, 37 and 36th shloka. Maitreya Rishi describes the qualifications for attaining Vaikuntha. 38th shloka. इत्युत्तानपदपुत्रो
इत्युत्थानपदौ पुत्रो
ध्रुवः कृष्णपरायणः
ध्रुवः कृष्णपरायणः
अभूत् त्रयाणां लोकानां
अभूत्त्रयाणां लोकानां
चूडामणिरिवामलः।
चूडामणिरिवामलः. Translation. In this way, the fully Krishna conscious Dhruva Maharaj, the exalted son of Maharaj Uttanapad, attained the summit of the three statuses of planetary systems.
This way, the pure Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Uttanapad, who is Krishna Parayanaha, surrendered to Krishna. That Dhruva was the crest jewel of the three planetary systems. Trayanam Lokanam Chudamani. So, Dhruva Maharaj is the crest jewel of the three planetary systems. Or another way Prabhupada says is that Dhruva Maharaj attained the crest jewel of all the planets, that is the Dhruva Loka. So the word Krishna Parayana is important. Krishna Parayana means one who is completely absorbed in Krishna, surrendered to Krishna. So the word, for example, Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Parayana Agam Dunvanti Katsyena Niharam Ivabhaskaraha. Those who are surrendered to Vasudeva, they completely uproot all the sins. So Parayana means those who are completely surrendered, going, or Prabhupada says, going forward. Anyone who is going forward to the goal of Krishna is called Krishna Parayana, or fully Krishna conscious. The example of Dhruva Maharaj indicates that every Krishna conscious person can expect to reach the topmost summit of all three planetary systems within the universe. A Krishna conscious person can occupy an exalted position beyond the imagination of any ambitious materialist. The Prabhupada is giving an assurance that every Krishna conscious person can expect to reach the Vaikuntha, can expect to reach the same goal, destination as Dhruva Maharaj attained. Next shloka. गम्भीरवेगो निमिषम्
गम्भीरवेगो निमिषन्
ज्योतिषां चक्रमाहितम्
ज्योतिषां चक्रम् आहिताम्
यस्मिन् भ्रमति कौरव्य
यस्मिन् भ्रमति कौरव्य
मेढ्यामिव गवां गणः.
मेध्यामिव गमां गणा. Translation. Saint Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, descendant of Kuru, as a herd of bulls circumambulates a central pole on their right side, all the luminaries within the universal sky unceasingly circumambulate the abode of Dhruva Maharaj with great force and speed.
गम्भीरवेगो अनिमिषम् ज्योतिषां चक्रमाहितम्. So all the planets Jyotisham around the Dhruva planet, around Dhruvaloka, the zodiac belt with planets and stars circles incessantly like a herd of bulls going around a central pillar with a great speed. So you see, just like the bulls are going around the central pillar, all the planets are circumambulating the Dhruvaloka. All the planets are circumambulating the Dhruvaloka. So Prabhupada, in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, 23rd chapter, entitled Shishumara Planetary System. So there it is explained that established by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pole star, which is the planet of Maharaj Dhruva, constantly shines as the central pivot for all the stars and planets. The unsleeping, invisible, most powerful time factor causes the luminaries to revolve around the pole star without cessation. Time does not sleep, invisible, most powerful, but the time makes all the planets revolve around the Dhruvaloka, pole star. So Prabhupada says that it is distinctly stated herein that all the luminaries, the planets and stars, revolve by the influence of the supreme time factor. The time factor is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone in this world is under the influence of the time factor. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind and loves his devotee Maharaj Dhruva so much that he has placed all the luminaries under the control of Dhruva's planet. And the Supreme Lord has arranged for the time factor to work under Dhruva Maharaj or with his cooperation. So everything is actually done according to the will and direction of the Supreme Lord. But to make his devotee Dhruva Maharaj the most important individual in the whole universe, the Lord has placed the activities of the time factor under the control of Dhruva Maharaj. So, Dhruva Maharaj has been made the most important individual, and Krishna has made the time factor under the control of Dhruva. Next shloka. So, Prabhupada says that every planet is traveling at a great speed. According to the Shastra, even the sun travels at 16,000 miles in a second. So maybe modern science say the sun is stationary, but sun is also traveling. Brahma Samhita says that Yat chakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja yasyangyaya brahmati sambritakala chakro govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajam. Chakshuresha, sun is considered to be the eye of the Supreme Lord. And the sun and all the planets are moving under the order of the Supreme Lord. But all these planets encircle the pole star where Dhruva Maharaj is situated at the summit of the three worlds. So we can only imagine how highly exalted the actual position of a devotee is. And certainly we cannot even conceive how exalted is the position of the Supreme Personality of God. Next shloka. Mahimanam vilokyasya
महिमानं विलोक्यास्य
Narado Bhagavan Rishihi
नारदो भगवान् ऋषिः
Atodyam Vitudan Shlokan
आतोद्यं विदुदं श्लोकान्
Satre Gayat Prachetasam.
तत्रे गायत् प्रचेतसा. Translation. After observing the glories of Dhruva Maharaj, the great sage Narada, playing his veena, went to the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas and very happily chanted the following three verses.
So Mahimanam Vilokya Asya. Mahimanam Asya Mahimanam Vilokya, seeing the glories of Dhruva. Narada playing on his veena sang the verses in the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas. Satre, Prachetasam Satre Agayat. So you can see that sometimes in the presence of a person, even if you don't like certain aspects of the person, you may glorify the person. You may behave respectfully towards the person. Or out of social etiquette, you may speak good about the person, even if you dislike that person. But to glorify a person in the absence of the person, what one speaks about that person, that shows the actual feelings of the person. And not sometimes in the immediate absence also, in the memorial ceremony of a person, it is expected that everyone speaks good about the person. So that's an atmosphere, everyone may speak good about the person. But after a person has disappeared, even after many years later, to what a person speaks about that departed soul, that will show what is the opinion about such a person. So here Narada Muni in the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas come much later in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. Much later, the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. That means like many thousands of years later. But Narada Muni goes to the assembly of the Prachetas and he sings the glories of Dhruva. It shows that how even Narada was so captivated by the character of Dhruva. So, therefore, Prabhupada says, Narada is the spiritual master of Dhruva. A spiritual master like Narada was very glad to see the Dhruva's glories. Just like a father is happy to see the son's advancement in every respect. So the spiritual master is very happy to observe the ascendancy of his disciple. There is a saying, says that when a son is born, it is like a utsav, a festival for the family. Parents become very happy at the birth of the child, birth of the son. But the parents experience 100 times greater happiness when others speak good about the son. When others speak good about the character of the son. 100 times greater happiness. So similarly, spiritual master, when he sees that the disciple has made so much of advancement in Krishna Bhakti, the spiritual master becomes very happy. That's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Ishwarapuri and told Ishwarapuri, since the time I started chanting the mantra given by you, I have started experiencing all these ecstatic symptoms. What kind of mantra have you given me? So Prabhupada says that a spiritual master is very happy to see the advancement of the disciple. Ishwarapuri became very happy to hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's question. So Narada Muni goes to the sacrifice of the Prachetas and speaks the next three shlokas glorifying Dhruva. Narada Uvacha Nunam Sunite Patidevataya
Nunam sunite patidevataayas
Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim
tapah prabhavasya sutasya tam gatim
Drishtvabyupayanapi Vedavadino
दृष्ट्वाभ्युपायान्नपि वेदवादिनो
नैवाधिगन्तुं प्रभवन्ति किं नृपाः
नैवादिगन्तुं प्रभवन्ति किं नृपाः. Translation. The great sage Narad said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of the Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings.
So the first verse says that Vedavadinaha, that means the followers of the Vedas. Vedavadinaha api, even the followers of the Vedas. Kim Nripaha, what to speak of the other kings? The followers of the Vedas also. Sunitehe पतिदेवतायाः तपप्रभावस्य सुनीतेः सुतस्य पतिदेवतायाः तपप्रभावस्य तां गतिं दृष्ट्वा seeing the goal attained by the chaste Suniti's son. So Pati Devatayaha is an adjective for Suniti. Pati Devataya means Suniti was devoted to her husband, who is chaste to her husband. So seeing the goal attained by the chaste Suniti's son, who 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 is the personification of severe austerity. Tapa prabhavasya sutasya gatim drishtva, whose severe austerity incarnate, seeing the goal attained by Dhruva Maharaj, followers of the Vedas, what to speak of the kings, seeing the goal attained by Dhruva Maharaj, could not obtain the method. Na eva adigantum prabhavanti. Na eva adigant upayan drishtva abhi upayan api na eva adigantum. They could not obtain the method by which he attained the goal. What to speak of the actual attainment? To the followers of the Vedas, what to speak of the kings, seeing the goal attained by Dhruva Maharaj, could not obtain the method by which he attained the goal. What to speak of the attainment? So Dhruva Maharaj is the personification of severe austerities. Even on seeing his attainment, even the sages, what to speak of the kings, could not attain the esoteric practice for the attainment. What to speak of the attainment itself? So Prabhupada is giving a very important purport. So Vedavadinas are strict followers of the Vedas. So Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna uses the same word. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantyavipaschitaha vedavada ratapartha nanyat astiti vadinaha kamatmana swargapara janma karma falapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogeishwarya gatim prati. 2.42-43. So the Vedavada Rathas, they think that the fruitive activities mentioned in the Vedas are they are the all in all in the Vedas. There is nothing higher than Swarga. So without understanding the actual purport of the Vedas, they think that the Karmakanda portion of the Vedas are the all in all. So such people, they may go on talking about the Vedas or may execute austerities in their own way. But it is not possible for them to attain to such an exalted position like Dhruva Maharaj. If even such Vedavada Rathas, it's not possible for them, then what to speak of the ordinary kings? Kim Nripaha. Because previously the kings were Raja Rishis, saintly kings. So Dhruva Maharaj was a king. At the same time, he was as learned as a great sage. But without a devotional service, neither a king, a Kshatriya, nor a great Brahmana, strictly adhering to the Vedic principles, can be elevated to the exalted position attained by Dhruva Maharaj. So it shows actually the exalted position of Dhruva Maharaj. Nunam sunite patidevataya tapaprabhavasya sutasya tam gatim drishtva abhyupayan apivedavadino naivadigantum prabhavanti kim nripa. This is the first shloka chanted by Narada. Next shloka. Yap panchavarsho gurudara vaksharair
Yapanchavarso Gurudar Vakshare
भिन्नेन यातो हृदयेन दूयता
Bhinnena Yato Hridayena Duyata
वनं मदादे शकरोजितं प्रभुम्
Vanam madade shakarojitam prabhum
जिगाय तद्भक्तगुणैः पराजितम्
Jigaya tad bhakta gune parajitam. Translation. The great sage Narad continued. Just see how Dhruva Maharaj aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years, and under my direction underwent austerity. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruva Maharaj defeated him with the specific qualifications possessed by the Lord's devotees.
Is giving a summary of Dhruva Maharaj, this one. Panchavarsho, when 5 years old, when he was only 5 years old, Guru Dara Vaksharaihi. Guru Dara Vaksharai. Guru Dara refers to the stepmother. Vaksharaihi Binnena, because his heart was burned, pierced. Binnena yato hridayena duyata. Because his heart was burned, pierced by the sharp words of his stepmother, Gurudara Vaksharaihi. And Mad Adesha Karo, this is the most important word in the shloka. Mad Adesha Karo, following my instructions. Ajitam Jigaya, Ajitam Prabhum Jigaya. Jigaya means conquered. He conquered whom? Ajitam Prabhum. He conquered the unconquerable Lord. Unconquerable Lord. Tad Bhakta Gunai Parajitam, who is conquered by the qualities of his devotees. Tad Bhakta Gunai Parajitam. So Prabhupada also says, although the Supreme Lord is unconquerable, Dhruva Maharaj defeated him, conquered him, the specific qualification possessed by the Lord's devotees. So Krishna is called as Ajita, unconquerable. This word comes in various places in the Bhagavatam. Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. In this shloka, no. Jnane prayasa mudapasya namantayeva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam sthane stita shrutigatam tanuvang manobir ye prayasho jitachitopyapitais trilokyam. 10.14.3. So that person who, after giving up the process of speculation, jnane prayasa mudapasya namantayeva jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadiya vartam. One who dedicates himself with his body, mind, and words to the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such a person conquers the unconquerable Supreme Lord. Conquers the unconquerable Supreme Lord. Another place in the Bhagavatam, I think 7th canto. Seventh canto, 14th chapter, Narada Muni says that Jahyat yadarte swan pranan anyadva pitaram gurum tasyam swattam striyam jahyat yastena kyajito jita. So one who can give up his attachment to a wife, he also conquers the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never conquered by anyone. Like that, there also is explained. So here, so Krishna is unconquerable, but Krishna voluntarily accepts subordination to the devotional qualities of the devotees. So tad bhakta gunai parajitam. Krishna is conquered by the devotional qualities of the devotees. So Krishna accepted subordination to the control of Mother Yashoda स्वमातु स्विन्नगात्राय विस्रस्तकबरस्रजः दृष्ट्वा परिश्रमं कृष्ण कृपयासीत् स्वबन्धने. Krishna agreed to be bound by Mother Yashoda, seeing the devotional hard work of Mother Yashoda. So the Lord likes to be under the control of his devotees, that everyone comes before the Lord and offers praise to the Lord in awe and reverence. But the Lord feels more pleased when a devotee out of love chastises him as a subordinate. So the Lord forgets his exalted position and willingly submits to his pure devotee. So Dhruva Maharaj, he followed the instructions of Narada. That is a Mad Adeshakara is a very important word. So the first item, the 64 items of the sadhana bhakti is the Guru Padashrayam. Adav Guru Padashrayam. So in the beginning, one must accept a bona fide Guru, and a devotee follows strictly the direction of the Guru, as Dhruva Maharaj followed, then it is not difficult for him to achieve the favor of the Lord. So therefore, the first three items of bhakti are important. Adav Guru Padashrayam, accepting a bona fide Guru. Taking Shiksha and Diksha from the Guru. And Vishrambena Guru Seva, serving the Guru with reverence and with affection. So the sum total of devotional qualities is development of unalloyed love for Krishna. So this unalloyed love for Krishna can be achieved simply by hearing about Krishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada is quoting the same shloka which I mentioned. Jnane prayasa mudapasya namanta eva. So, in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a conversation with Ramananda Rai, the banks of Godavari in Kovur. It's one of the very important conversation, Ramananda Samvad. In the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked a question, what is the goal, sadhya, and what is the sadhana, means to achieve that goal. So Ramananda Rai started telling different shlokas. First he spoke about Varnashram. Varnashrama charavata purushena parapuman Vishnur aradyate panta nanya tattosha karanam. By executing one's Varnashram duty, that is the only way to please the Lord. But now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is external. Tell me something more. So Mahaprabhu started rejecting different answers. Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. He started rejecting different answers. But first time when Mahaprabhu accepted an answer given by Ramananda Rai is that when Ramananda Rai spoke this shloka. Jnane prayasa mudapasya namantaiva. So that is what Prabhupada quotes. Lord Chaitanya accepted this principle that if one in any position, so that verse, another important point is that sthane sthita shrutigatam, one does not need to change one's situation in the varnashram. Whatever situation one is there, grihastha, vanaprastha, whatever situation one is there, one can be there in that position. But if one submissively hears the transcendental message spoken by Krishna or about Krishna, and gradually he develops the quality of unalloyed love, and by that he can conquer the unconquerable. So the Mayavadi philosophers aspire to become one with the Supreme Lord. But a devotee surpasses that position because the devotee conquers the Lord. Not only does a devotee become one in quality with the Supreme Lord, but he becomes the father of the Supreme Lord, mother of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. The devotee ordered Krishna. Lord executed the order. So Mayavadis want to become one with the Lord, but the devotee by his devotional service, he attains a position greater than the Lord. In the sense that the Lord out of his affection, agrees to become the subordinate of the devotee, becomes conquered with the devotee. These are some examples of how a devotee can acquire the exalted position of conquering the unconquerable. So, third shloka spoken by Narada Muni. Yakshatra bandhur bhuvitasyadirudha
यः शत्रबन्धुर्भुवितास्य धीरोद्धम्
अन्वारुरुक्षेदपि वर्षपूगैः
अन्वारुवृक्षेदपि वर्षपूगैः
षट्पञ्चवर्षो यदघोभिरल्पैः
षट्पञ्चवर्षो यदहोभिरल्पैः
प्रसाद्य वैकुण्ठमवाप तत्पदम्
प्रसाद्य वैकुण्ठम् अवाप तत्पदम्. Dhruva Maharaj attained an exalted position at the age of only 5 or 6 years. After undergoing austerity for 6 months, and alas, a great Kshatriya cannot achieve such a position even after undergoing austerities for many, many years. Exalted position at the age of only 5 years.
So here, yak shatra bandhur bhuvi tasyadirudam. Shatra bandhu means a friend of a Kshatriya. Why it is mentioned as Shaktra Bandhu? Because when Dhruva Maharaj was 5 years, he was just a small boy. He was not a full-fledged Kshatriya. That's why he is called a Shaktra Bandhu. A so-called Kshatriya should desire to attain the position of Dhruva. Arurukshet. Arurukshet is basically the Vidiling. A Kshatriya should desire to attain the position of Dhruva. Tasya adirudam arurukshet. But he cannot attain it even after many years. Api varshapugaihi. But he cannot attain even after many years. Because Dhruva Maharaj, Shatpancha Varsho, when he was only 5 or 6 years old, Shatpancha Varsho. After a few days, Alpaihi, after a few days, he pleased the Lord, Vaikuntam Prasadya Tat Padam Avapa, and attained his abode. So even the best Kshatriya is the lowest compared to Dhruva. Because Dhruva attained Vaikunta. He desires to attain that position, but can he attain it even after many years? Dhruva attained just when he was only 5 or 6 years old in a short time. But even the best of the Kshatriya cannot attain the position which Dhruva Maharaj attained. So Dhruva is called a Kshatriya Bandhu because at that time he was not fully trained as a Kshatriya. The Kshatriya or a Brahmana has to take training. A boy born in a family of a Brahmana is not immediately a Brahmana. He has to take up the training, the purificatory process. So Narada Muni was very proud of having a devotee disciple like Dhruva. So Narada Muni had many disciples. Narada Muni is the father of devotional service, but especially he is very much pleased with Dhruva Maharaj because in one lifetime, Dhruva attained Vaikunta, which was never achieved by any other king's son or Raja Rishi throughout the whole universe. So Bharat Maharaj, you will see in the 5th canto, he attained perfection, Vaikunta, in 3 lifetimes. Bharat Maharaj became a victim of the attachment to the deer. But Dhruva Maharaj attained Vaikunta in 1 lifetime. So the lesson from the life of Dhruva Maharaj is that if one likes, one can attain Vaikunta Loka in 1 life. So Prabhupada is giving an assurance. Everyone can attain Vaikunta in 1 life without waiting for many other lives. So my Guru Maharaj, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, used to say that every one of his disciples could attain Vaikuntha Loka in this life without waiting for another life to execute devotional service. One simply has to become as serious and sincere as Dhruva Maharaj. Then it is quite possible to attain Vaikuntha Loka in one life. One has to become serious, sincere, and without ulterior motives. Then one can attain Vaikuntha in one lifetime. So these are the three shlokas spoken by Narada. Then Maitreya continues with the Phalastuti. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Yetatte Bhitam Sarvam
Etatte Bhitam Sarvam
Yat Prushtohamiha Tvaya
Yat Prishtohami Hatvaya
Dhruvasyodama Yashasas Dhruvasyodama Yashasas
Dhruvasyodama Yashasas
Charitam Sammatam Satam.
Charitam Sammatam Satam. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidur, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I have explained to you in all detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj.
So Maitreya Rishi is coming to the conclusion. As you have asked, etadde abhihitam sarvam yat prushtoham ihatvaya. I have explained everything. About the Dhruvasya Uddama Yashasa, about the most famous Dhruva. Satam Sammatam Charitam. The activities of Dhruva are celebrated by the devotee. Satam Sammatam Charitam. So Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport. Bhagavatam means everything in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srimad Bhagavatam. Whether we hear the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord, or we hear about the character, reputation, and activities of his devotees, they are all one and the same, because the activities of the devotees are connected with Krishna only. So sometimes people directly want to jump into the 10th canto, and they don't want to hear the stories of Dhruva Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Chitraketu, Vritrasura, the creation pastimes. But such kind of discrimination should not be indulged by any real devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, they would hear Dhruva Maharaj's story at least 100 times before going to the next story. So the kind of discrimination and abrupt adoption of the Rasalila pastimes of the Lord is not approved by the Acharyas. A sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the beginning verses describe that Bhagavatam is the Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, the ripened fruit of the tree of the Vedic knowledge. Sarva Vedanta Saram Yat Sri Bhagavata Ishyate. It is the essence of the entire Vedanta. So therefore, one should not miss out even one word of the Bhagavatam. It's like when you have something very valuable, one will not waste even 1 milligram, 1 gram of it. If you have some potato 5 kilo, if you lose even 1 kilo, you will not lament so much. But if you have 5 gram gold, even if half a gram if you lose, one will be very careful to get back that half a gram, because 1 gram is some 11,000-12,000, I think. So something very valuable is that if you lose even one small, even few milligrams, few grams, one will want to get back. One will be very careful to protect even a small quantity. So similarly, because the Bhagavatam is the essence of the Vedas, essence of all the Puranas, Upanishads. So in the even from if we see from a quantity point of view, in the whole Vedas, there are lakhs of shlokas. Somebody mentioned some 1 lakh multiplied by 1 lakh. That many verses are there in entire Vedas. Puranas, 4 lakh shlokas are there. Only in Skanda Purana, 60,000 shlokas are there. Mahabharata contains 1 lakh shlokas. So all these, that means lakhs and lakhs of shlokas are there, and Bhagavatam is the essence of all these Vedas. So then we can imagine how one should be careful. One should not. One should be careful to read every syllable of the Bhagavatam. So therefore, Prabhupada says that a sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedas. Devotee should not try to avoid even a word of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, Maitreya Rishi says that Bhagavatam is Satam Sammatam. It is approved by the great devotees. Approved by the great devotees. So therefore, Sanatana Goswami, in his prayers to the Bhagavatam, he says that Madeka Bandho Matsangin Madguro Manmahadana Mannishtaraka says that Mannishtaraka Madbhagya Madananda Namostute. He says that Madeka Bandhu, Srimad Bhagavatam is my only companion, my only relative. Madeka Bandhu Mat Sangin, Srimad Bhagavatam is my companion. Mad Guru, Srimad Bhagavatam is my Guru. Man Mahadana, it is my great wealth. Man Nishtaraka, Bhagavatam is my deliverer. Madbhagya, Bhagavatam is my fortune. Madananda Namostute. Bhagavatam is my real pleasure. Another verse, Sanatan Goswami says that Paramananda Pataya Prema Varsh Aksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostute. I offer my respectful obeisance unto Srimad Bhagavatam. By your recitation, one attains a transcendental bliss, Paramananda Pataya. Prema Varshi Aksharayate. Because the syllables of the Bhagavatam shower down pure love of God. Prema Varshi Aksharayate. Sarvada Sarvasevyaya. Bhagavatam is to be served by everyone. Because Sri Krishnaya Namostate. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Asadu Sadutadayin Ati Nichocha Taraka. Bhagavatam bestows saintliness to the unsaintly people. By reading Bhagavatam, a unsaintly person becomes saint. Asadu Sadutadayin Ati Nichocha Taraka. Bhagavatam uplifts even the most fallen. Hana Muncha Kadachin. Please never leave me. He is praying to the Bhagavatam. Please never leave me. Hana Muncha Kadachin. Mam Premna Hritkantayospura. Premna Hritkantayospura, accompanied by the pure love of Krishna, please manifest yourself in my heart and in my throat. In my heart and the throat. Therefore, Prabhupada is giving special emphasis that how Dhruva Maharaj story is Satam Sammatam. Great saintly devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. And every word the Dhruva Maharaj story is very important. Then further, next class will be the last class on Dhruva Maharaj. So we have how many more shlokas? 45 to yeah, 52. So next class we'll complete this Dhruva Maharaj story. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions, comments? Hare Krishna. So
Thank you very much. Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna. So we'll end here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur
Jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.